Hey everybody, Alex from SCADA Forge here. So now that we've gone through all of the Ignition Launchpad functionality of both the KPI and OEE project, including extending those a little bit with some custom dashboard widgets on the KPI project and adding batch management to the OEE system, where do you go next with your Ignition development? And I think a good place to start is the Ignition demo at demo.inductiveautomation.com. This gives you a few demo apps that you can look at to see some of the power of Ignition. So this is a wastewater treatment sample that includes kind of a dashboard overview page here with some trends and some process variables. And we can click on those and get these like PNID style screens that can actually run a process. Going through the dashboard and OEE project, it's not a huge lift to build something like this. We covered the perspective symbols, like you see the pumps here. In our perspective videos, we covered how to manage all of these different components and get data coming in from your PLCs. And you can click on different things and get pop-ups. We can go to, say, a chemical feed screen. You'll see lots of different screens like this in most Ignition projects that are used for process control. And again, you'll see the same thing with alarm status components here as we've covered in previous videos, and your overall dashboard. We can also go back to the demo page. We'll see a building management system. Same type of thing, dashboard component, some detailed views of floors. This might be using the map component here. We can click on a floor and get some information about that. Building management is typically concerned with things like HVAC and facilities and buildings, and is conceptually similar to process automation for manufacturing facilities. It just uses different communication protocols and devices. Or you can get into robotics integrations and things like here with the automotive demo. Maybe there's some development still that needs to be done there. This would be very similar to things we might see at an electric vehicle facility that the Corso Systems team has worked on over the years, moving vehicles through the production line and looking at robotics data, power usage, facilities integrations, and things like that. There's also a lot of work being done in the data center space right now with the uptick in AI applications. This gives you some data center specific information, power usage, water usage, etc. You can look at floor plans and again, click on things in here and see different information. And see what an Ignition architecture looks like. And you may, if you're just getting started with Launchpad, you're probably not necessarily getting into full enterprise deployments with multiple gateways and edge integrations, but that's another place you can take things. You can also get into, building systems for OEM equipment manufacturers and building standalone Ignition systems for those. There's also you can click around the demo apps and see a lot of different things, like here with the map component with devices shown on a map that you can zoom in and out on. We've even built this type of thing for manufacturing facilities where we build a map view of their facility that you can zoom in and out and see different dashboard style components on the map depending on your level of zoom. So it's really, once you have Ignition in a facility, it's, what problems can you solve from there and what other things can you tie into your Ignition system? Like here, there's even, say, RFID badge integrations for tracking employee location or movement location, maybe on like a shipping and logistics system if you want to track where parts are moving throughout the world. Tie into security and have operators log into the system with their badges. We've seen that quite a bit. You can also build out more traditional like software as a service type applications. Here's a basic computerized maintenance management system where you can manage work orders and using like the forms component in perspective, you can build out forms for operators to enter maintenance requests and tie that into your overall process. You can also get into things like preventative maintenance, and a lot of folks use Ignition for things like vibration monitoring on their motors. And then you can also come into here and figure out more about different Ignition features. Like real-time status is typically a lot of what we're building in the manufacturing world. Web services, where you can expose Ignition as an API endpoint for other systems to pull data out of your Ignition system. Get into more things like alarming and alarm notifications to have Ignition call or text your operators when there's an alarm, or you can even get into complex trending applications, giving your users access to different charts and things, as we've talked about in the other videos. So I think it's really taking all the building blocks that are available in the Ignition ecosystem and not necessarily starting out with what should I build, more starting out with what problem can I solve either at my own facility to make my operators' lives easier, or what can I do to help my customers and make their lives easier, and use all of the things that we've talked about so far in the SCADA Forge class to start using Ignition as a problem-solving tool. Because the more that you use it in your facility, the more ideas that you'll come up with and find more problems to solve across the board. And overall, we've been running with great success on the Ignition platform since Corso Systems was founded in 2011, and it's only improved over time. So thank you for watching all of our introductory maker level content here on SCADA Forge. We hope it was helpful. Please let us know if you have any questions, concerns, if there's anything else you'd like to see covered, and have a great day. Thank you for watching.